Okay, so we'll move swiftly on with the second presenter of the morning, who is Péter Vágvölgyi.
Thank you very much. Okay, hello everybody. Thanks for joining. First of all, just testing my micro, I would like to ask you who came from automotive industry? Okay, good. And who has own car? As a much more. Okay, it's really good. Then I hope so I can give some takeaway for you with this presentation. So let's start. Nowadays, more and more electrical devices are installed in our vehicles to make our life much easier and better. But we are not focusing on really for the cybersecurity, unfortunately, or at least not enough. Here we need to talk about the CAN protocol itself. It's a control area network which is responsible for the internal communication of the vehicle, in the vehicle, because these kind of devices and ECUs have to communicate with each other. We have a bunch of sensors, screens, actuators, and so on. For this, we use the CAN itself. So as the name shows us, the control area network, it works well in network, because these kind of devices shall communicate with each other, that's why we talk about it. So what is CAN exactly? It's a serial type communication. That means the data is transmitted bit by bit after each other at the same time. It has a bus topology, so there is no master-slave communication or connection, but all of the ECUs can send and receive data on the CAN high and CAN low wires. That's two-wire communication. And one message consists of one ID and the message itself. As I mentioned, all of the devices can receive and send data, but only the device which has the given ID will act on it. So that's how it looks like. So it's a message-based communication. Okay, then next, so it's a half duplex documentation. Luckily, only one device, or unluckily, we will see it later on. Only one device can communicate at the same time on the bus. There is no synchronization between the sent messages, and one of the most useful thing in the CAN communication, the noise protection. So the logical 0 and the logical 1 generated so how we have this CAN high, CAN low wires. The voltage difference between these two wires define the logical 0 if the voltage is 0, and the logical 1 comes when it's roughly 2.5 volts between the two lines. If a noise coming to the bus, then that has effect to the low and high lines, and the difference between them won't be changed. So that's how it works. Okay, but why we use CAN? In older times, the older blinkers, headlights, and all of the devices had separate battery wires which snakes through in the vehicle, and with CAN communication we need only one tiny signal wire, or at least two, but yeah, two tiny signal wires, and without this kind of lot of cables in the vehicle. So of course it's a really good thing of the vehicle manufacturers to reduce the costs. Of course it's cheaper than a lot of cables in the vehicle. Yep. Why we are here today? That was the short introduction, and now the topic would be in 2022 The hackers found a vulnerability in the CAN communication itself, at least some few types of the vehicles. They get a gap in the CAN communication where they could connect the external CAN injector to the vehicle, and through this they can get access into this internal network and take over the control about the different ECUs. So that's why I mentioned earlier how it's maybe not the best solution, only or this half-duplex communication, how only one device can communicate at the same time. Because here we can see one example about the CAN topology, how it's built up in the vehicle. We can see one line, CAN line, the headlight, I marked it with green. That's the so-called problematic ECU in this special situation, is together with the smart key, door control, ECUs. So it's connected to the same line in the CAN. We have three circles: the control CAN bus, the powertrain CAN bus, and the autonomy CAN bus with router and parking assistant forward camera. So that means if the hackers can connect this external CAN injector to the vehicle and can send fake messages, something like, yes, I'm a validated key, please open the door, or please start engine, or something like that, then that's happened, unfortunately. So, could happen. Okay, the gateway in this case, unfortunately, just send back and forth the CAN messages. Doesn't matter how it's a fake message or it's a validated message, because sometimes maybe not authorized or authenticated messages also went through on this CAN gateway between the different CAN lines. So the engine control also worked, so was available by the hackers, unfortunately. Okay, how it looks like step by step. But before this, I bring to you a funny story. In earlier days or earlier life of CAN, the CAN wake-up signal was just an edge on the CAN bus. And unfortunately, the radio interferences could also put this edge on the CAN bus. It means, for example, somebody parked at the airport where powerful radar sweeps are available. The guy just went two weeks away somewhere, and when he's come back, then just recognized, oh, I cannot start the vehicle because the battery was drained. Because of these radar sweeps, it just continuously wake up, and it's drained the battery itself, the radar. That's dangerous. Yeah, but later on, that was the solution, how now, based on the state of the art, the CAN protocol looks, or the CAN communication looks like. We have a defined wake-up signal, what we can use for that to wake up one or more ECUs in the vehicle. That's how your fob works. So, of course, not fully sleep all of the ECUs in the vehicle, because you then it could not receive your signal when you try to open the door remotely. So it's just not turned off, but only in sleep mode. And that's used by this external CAN injector too. So yeah, why this GBL picture is here? Yeah, that's in this special case, that was the device what was used by the hackers. So with little modification, the hackers can just take it, connect it. That's just something like this device size, and that was the used device by the hackers. So yeah, how it looks like, they just remove the fender, connect this CAN injector to the vehicle, and after the first powered on, why I talked about the wake-up signals, This external can injector just listening. It checks if the system is ready or not. Then, okay, I connected, I sent, for example, just a wake-up signal. If anybody reacted from the other vehicle ECUs, then okay, the system is ready. I can start burns the CAN signal. Sorry, I forgot to mention why this logical 0 and 1 is important, because the logical 0 means that's the dominant state of the CAN. So if the one ECU can continuously send these dominant states, the Z0 value, all other ECUs cannot communicate. So no error messages or something like that. So that's fully dominant on the CAN bus. That's why it's really dangerous. So, okay, this external device burns the CAN network with these fake messages, and after that it just activates this extra circuit, what is installed in this device, and this device can start send fake messages like, okay, I'm a valid key, please open the door, I'm fully valid, so you can start the engine itself. So that was the technical background. What can we do against it? So we can use this message authentication code. We will see it later on. And then the CAN injector cannot create a valid spoof of frame at least. We can make the gateway paranoid against it. So when we connect this external device, in this case it's a GBL device, but when we connect it, of course it makes some trouble in the network, and it makes some error entries or something like that, something like a bus of error or something like that. And we can make the gateway paranoid against it. So, for example, okay, I just validate the CAN messages which has no these kind of error entries earlier or this recent CAN message what we would like to transmit. Or we have some solutions, something like Zero Trust, the HSM, hardware security module, or the automotive secure hardware extension, which has this encryption, authentication, and so on. So the encryption is good for us because in case it's cached on the network, it cannot be decrypted at least, so cannot decipher. So it's also really good. Okay, about the CAN or about the MAC, the message authentication code, how it looks like in practice. We have one message, we have an algorithm on the sender side, we have a key for it, and the result will be the MAC. We send this message and the MAC to the receiver side, where we decode it with a special algorithm, and we compare the received and the generated MAC result together. If it's matched, then fine. If it's not matched, we will reject the request or the CAN message itself. So that's how it works. And thank you very much for your attention. I hope so it was useful for you. So in case of any question, then just ask me now or later on. Sorry?
The ABS uses CAN.
Sorry, just beg your pardon, just a moment.
Yeah.
If you.
So the ABS uses CAN.
As I know, yes.
So for example, with a CAN injection, you can stop one wheel.
In case of hacking, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody would ask from here too? No?
Yep.
No? Yes. Sorry.
Morning. Thank you for the great presentation. I have a question regarding HSM and the whole cryptography. In terms of performance, is that additional cryptographic measures affect performance? Because I assume the scan and all the devices, they should work runtime, something like this. And yeah, what's your experience and what's the future of integration these more and more cryptography everywhere for these kind of high available devices? Thank you.
So the HSM is in the ECU itself, so in the processor. It's a second microcontroller, so-called. Yeah. So there we can store certificates, keys, and any other secret data, and it has further protections. Sorry, but I did not get your question. So it's running from runtime. Of course, it should be, or it has runtime tuning detection too, which run in this core, the so-called HSM. But yeah, or later we can.
On your last diagram, I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but I didn't see how the Mac would actually prevent things like replay attacks of those messages, because I didn't see any randomness embedded in the message or anything like that.
That's good for the authentication. So the receiver, so most probably the hacker can injector device, this GBL device, has not this algorithm. Shortly. So the Mac algorithm, that's not so easy to figure it out.
Sure, but that middle box with message and Mac, that's what goes over the CAN bus presumably, and therefore if they have a device connected to the CAN bus, why can't they just capture that and replay it later on? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Where's the freshness? Where's the randomness? Where's the nonce? I don't see it here.
So the Mac and the when we have the Mac and the message, then that's already generated, and most probably it's encrypted too. So that's not possible to get the Mac separately.
Yeah, I'm still just not seeing the randomness here, because otherwise that middle box is replayable. So he said there's randomness, but just wondering where it comes in. We can maybe talk later on then.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we have any? Oh, we do. Another one? Peter?
You talked about how the hardware helps secure it with the HSM and SHM. Do you use any kind of like the new developments like Cherry CPUs to harden the code? For example, ARM's new Morello chips.
No.
Do we have any from our remote participants? Nothing at this time, thanks. Okay, if there isn't anything else from the floor, Péter, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.